My name is Walter Peters, and I am a teacher attached at Effie Pollard Primary School in Georgetown, Guyana. The following is a presentation or part 2 for the assignment SPED 445, Legislation in Inclusive Special Education. Before I move into my presentation, I would like to acknowledge the following persons. The researcher would like to thank all of the following persons who have contributed towards the successful production of this research. Special thanks to the videographer who took time off to make an awesome video production. Thanks to the parent who gave consent to the use of her son with special needs to be part of this research and study. Your efforts and contributions are highly appreciated. And thank you to those persons who have published useful journals which provide a roadmap towards this research. More so, special thanks towards a facilitator for this course, SPED 445, Legislation in Inclusive Special Education. Your guidance and support was much beneficial. And finally, big thank you to the Almighty God for his knowledge, strength, and support in making me to produce this research. This case study was conducted in Guyana. Guyana is a country located on the continent of South America. Its capital city is Georgetown. Guyana is managed by 10 administrative regions as shown on the map. The following presentation would display the findings of this case study, which is based on assessing the individual advocacy in an inclusive and special education in Guyana. It also shows implications and suggested recommendations for future practices. Individual advocacy. This research is mainly focused on independent or parental advocacy of a child with speech impairment who attends a public school in Guyana. Parental or individual advocacy refers to a person or a number of persons whose major focus is on one child. Mrs. Nurse has taken a huge step in advocating for the rights of her child with disability. She has been an advocate for her child, Michael, who was born with speech impairment for over 3 years. A picture is seen on the right-hand side of Michael on a normal day in the classroom. She has one main goal for her son, and that is to continue giving support towards him and the school in which he attends. Based on the findings from this research, some of the information have been placed on graphs to represent. Figure 1 shows a bar graph. The bar graph shows 3 major reasons why the parent made a decision to become an advocate for her child with disability. The reasons were ranked according to her choice as being the main. She noted in Guyana, most children with disabilities lack equal educational opportunities, which she ranked 40% being highest or the main reason behind her advocacy. She also highlighted that many persons with disability live in poverty in Guyana, and also they have been totally neglected by society. Because of this, she ranked both at 30% being the second major reason for her being an advocate for the special need community. Figure 2, pie chart showing some challenges faced by the parent with a child of disability. The pie chart shows 3 major challenges the parent likely experienced in having a child with disability. As shown in the pie chart, the main challenge for the parent is getting an education for her child with disability, since the public school lacks modifications and resources to suit her child. The second major challenge faced by the parent is lack of support from the relevant authorities, such as the Ministry of Education and the government. Many other parents can share this similar concern, which was ranked 40%. And at 10% being the least challenge is the understanding of a child with speech impairment. The parent found that this was also one of the challenges, especially whenever he is ill, and seen crying, she cannot know what exactly is affecting him. Figure 3, line graph showing the parental recommendations for the school in improving special education. The line graph shows the recommendations that were made by the parent towards the school. She notes that there is a major need of trained specialist teacher in special education. It was the highest need recommended, representing at 25%. The second recommendation as a main need in the schools is speech therapists, ranking it at 20%. Finally, she recommended the use of technology within schools is also needed, which she ranked as a third, reflecting a 15%. Implication of current and future practices. According to the international journals and articles which study special education in several nations, including the Caribbean and Guyana, are by far achieving an inclusive special education. Here in Guyana, the government and the Ministry of Education have been making strides to better the education system, especially for special education. Hence, as mentioned in one of the journals, Guyana is at birth of special education. At Effie Pollard Primary School, the practice is partial inclusion. The school is not much adequately prepared to teach children with disabilities. However, in the future, it remains the government responsibility in preparing all schools with resources needed in achieving its goals in education. Small islands, developing states. Some small island developing states like Trinidad and Tobago, Jamaica, and the Bahamas have also been over the years striving to implement policies that cater for education for all. Based on the information from several international journals, these nations have experienced similar challenges in adopting policies and laws as it relates to an inclusive education. Some common challenges are negative attitudes towards persons with disabilities, which stems from teachers, parents, and fellow citizens. The lack of adequate resources to provide support in having an inclusive education. And finally, the lack of trained teachers in special education. According to the International Journal of Special Education, revealed that there is a lack of trained teachers in the area of special education in the Bahamas. And this has brought me to the end of my presentation. The overview here shows the references on articles and international journals that have contributed towards this study and research. Thank you for viewing my presentation.